Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for Shijia of a track by an act named LaLa titled The Prayer. And if we switch over to here, we have the track on YouTube and we're going to listen through it from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go. What do we have? Hang on a minute. Let me just check the volume levels. Nope, I was just being superstitious. We did a fan request to double a couple of days ago. Pays to double check before you listen to a track. You don't want to have a sad time having to re-record or something because you realize it's too quiet in post. You know what I mean? It's not a pleasant thing to look at, the fire, is it? The burning of the bushland and the scrubland. These whooshy fantasy synths like the start of a sci-fi movie is kind of wild. I like the swirling and sort of twittering going on with those synths. Oh. That was a cool intro coming out like visually from like a video perspective, cinematic perspective coming out of the eyes like that. Okay, nice toned piano with the vocals. Oh, that's a pleasant chord. Oh. Okay, I kind of dig it. Hang on a minute. Just realized that the nanolith panels are playing up again. They look like an alien. Oh, it's a very peaceful chord progression with these extended chords. There's like some flittery kind of synth pads there that are like a sort of a faux string there. And she's switching up the melody here. The journey we're going on orally. A little bit more active in this bridge. I kind of dig the fact that we've had a sudden festering of little synth elements here to switch up what we've had going on with the vocals and the piano. It's very clean for my tastes. There's like a dissonance or contrast between the A and B sides. It's charming. There's more than meets the eye with this one. She's an incredible vocalist, so very comfortable in hearing Jia's voice. I do not like the scraping sound that's going from the left to the right of the headphones. I don't appreciate that at all. I need that to stop. I don't like that. This seems a little bit deeper than a lot of the tracks I listen to. It's a little bit more spiritual. I don't know if it's just because I'm being sort of manipulated by the title of the track or not. Seems like she's going on a spiritual journey, a passage. There's a particular word I'm looking for, like it's like a religious or spiritual journey, but it's escaping me at the moment. It annoys me that I can't think of the word. This is a nice additional element in that upper range. I wish there was more dynamic range to the vocal performance. It's a little bit too kind of polished for my tastes. There's a similar loudness throughout with the vocals. The snow's really pretty, like the mountaintops. I'd like to go there. She's making a prayer. Is it for the environment or something like that? She wants the world to survive or something like that? Is that what we're supposed to take from this? As someone who doesn't understand the language and has no hope in hell of understanding it otherwise? Looking to the sky above for Mother Nature to save us. Sorry, baby, we're setting Mother Nature on fire. We are spitting in the face of God. Okay, so I found lyrics here. Thank you to Shijia for providing those as well for their custom monthly music review. Not meaning what I say, not meaning what I say when an aesthetic blessing couldn't enclose the fickleness of love. May you forever stay safe and healthy. May you forever know how to fly. May you really love one person. What? I don't entirely understand the lyrics and how they're supposed to be interpreted. I genuinely thought this was going to be about the environment. Is the fire meant to be the passion of love or something like that? Is it about loving the world or something like that? Sublimate the weakness of people. They always use massive words. I wonder if these are like literal translations or... Is it about loving someone and being true to them but understanding they can never be as devoted to you as they are to themselves? Is that it? May you forever safe and healthy. May you forever know how to fly. May you really know one person, some person, that person. Yeah, may the gone love with... The translation for this is kind of scuffed. I'm going to be honest with you. The translation for this is kind of scuffed. I'm not really sure how to sort of interpret it. Because this is the conclusion of my review of this track by LaLa titled The Prayer. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about a woman or someone praying for another person, for their health and goodwill, and for them to find someone to love that is true to them and for them to find happiness and everything like that. Maybe at the expense of the person who's praying. You know, it's almost as if we are so... that the other person's happiness, the one we're praying for, is more important than our own. That's the interpretation I have of this track. I think LaLa is a sensational singer. You know, like I adore her vocal style. It suits this type of story really well, and she sells it genuinely, really sweetly, it was very authentic emotionally. Confident in our head and chest voice, experienced on the microphone. A great way of sort of putting the emphasis on different notes and syllables and words there to sell it in a way that is appropriate for the rest of the ornamentation as well. Interesting use of different melodies there and little harmonies as well, like, as we go through it without it being overlaid or overcomplicated. And in general, I think we've got ourselves a really strong singer here who told a story she wanted to. It's just a shame that the translations again were a bit scuffed. I wasn't really sure how to interpret it. There could have been enough in there for me to have sort of understood it better, and maybe I just wasn't like able to sort of conjure that from what I read, but I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments. The structure of the track, I think, was like the verse, bridge, chorus with some interesting sort of synth parts, like the intro coming out of the eyes and everything like that, like the burning of the passion and all that kind of stuff. And then we had sort of like a synth part where we came down and we struggled at the halfway point to kind of continue to keep going. And I think that symbolism within the music was authentic and engaging. And I think that at 4 minutes 30, you kind of needed that much variation within the track to keep people interested and entertained by it. Although entertained, I don't think is the right word in this situation, as this is rather a raw, sort of brutal performance from LaLa. You know, this wasn't a fun song to listen to. This was one where I suppose if you understood the language natively, for example, it might have hit harder. I can tell she's crying. I can tell this is incredibly sort of like difficult for her potentially to sing or even talk about. For me, as someone who doesn't understand the language, I see someone who's upset and I empathize for them and I sympathize, but I don't necessarily have the whole package. So I think that people who are maybe more familiar with the language will get a deeper sort of like experiential connection with the song. The strings, the use of piano there, the different synths for a bit of sort of chaos in there. I think the relative minimalism of all the elements, including a little bits of Foley and sort of interesting sort of scratchy sound designs there, just to kind of like keep interest and kind of peak and polish and sort of zazz it up. It was smart stuff. I'm happy with the amount of change we had within the arrangement throughout the track in the 4.5 minutes. I never thought we were left wanting. That's good, especially as we didn't have like a real sort of like promptness of the groove or anything like that, or drums, percussion push keeping us going. It was more of an orchestral kind of vibe here, and I think that's a really beautiful thing to be able to pull that off and keep me interested for the 4.5 minutes. Well done to LaLa for that, because it's not easy to do that. There was a gentleness in those extended harmonies there, those chords there, the main sort of motifs and melodies that LaLa pulled off sat well in the mix and had great presence among the rest of the side pan strings and all that kind of stuff. Ultimately, I don't really have that many, if any, complaints about the way that we approached the majority of the situation with like the actual arrangement, and the performances, the various elements and the strings in the mix were great. You know, I'm very, very happy about what I heard for the most part from the actual accompaniment as well as the vocalist and the lyrics. The actual recording, mixing and mastering, to me, it was almost too clean for my tastes. It was almost too sort of samey. In regards to the dynamics there, while I admitted there was a nice amount of sort of change in the perceived loudness to some of the vocal parts, it's just that it was a little bit too sort of pristine and serene for me. The production did not excite me. I know that the synth parts at the beginning, where there's a bit of tension, sort of chaos there, especially with the fire and stuff like that, were meant to indicate a kind of tone between the two, finding serenity within a prayer and dealing with the pain and sort of like the struggle within. But it just still, the vocals were in that kind of sultry, caring kind of tone for most, if not all of it, which was a shame, because that might be LaLa's style, but I think it was kind of what anchored me in that sort of chill phase. And I couldn't get elevated when there were moments of silence there, because I was still so familiar with her sweet, mesmerizing voice. It's more of a subjective, personal, pedantic thing. But all in all, I'm still very happy with how professional the studio recording is. Like recording quality of the vocals and the other instruments in the mix is absolutely phenomenal. Again, the panning instruments was great in the mix, nice filtering, no resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum. Leveling of the instruments in the mix was great. Nice, it was nice and loud without pumping. All in all, this is a fantastic track, and the use of automation with that little kind of glitchy string bit going from left to right. They clearly know what they're doing in the studio. I just don't know if if I was the target audience for this track. But then again, this was my SP Patrons video, my review of LaLa's The Prayer. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out LaLa's various social medias, and I think this is on YouTube. And stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SP Patrons video. Spiderhands out.